Hi guys, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on when you see my video. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl, the Game Blessing. Hope you're all doing well. So today I'm just going to do something a bit different. I'm not going to be narrating the story. I want to talk about the movie The Last Straw. How many of us have seen that movie by Bibo Ademoye? Right? So I'm not going to be narrating the story in details like I did in my last two videos. I just want to point out some of the lessons I got from that video, and I encourage you to go watch that video because it's really very much relatable, something that happens around us, and I believe you're going to get lots of lessons from the movie. Thanks to Bimbo for that movie, and thanks to the cast and crew. They did a good job. So that movie, I just want to point out some lessons that I learned from that movie, Last Straw. You know, the name, that last straw, for me, where the name was coined from was a scene where Bimbo's mom, now let me use the character name. The character, Bimbo, what's her name in that movie? Miss Lawson, yeah? Where her mom was insulting her husband again and he couldn't take it anymore, and he shouted right back at her. I think that was when you say you broke the camel's back. That was when the camel's back was broken. That was the last straw, and he had to give it back to her hot. And I like that. He was really calm in that movie. He was really calm to take all that he took. Well, that aside, the lessons I got from that movie, I wrote them down so I don't forget any. So one of the lessons that I learned from that movie is this goes to our parents. We as parents, talking about the young parents who are going to get old sometime, and the older parents who have grown up kids now, right? One of the lessons is that we should, as parents, or our parents should know when to set boundaries, should understand boundaries in the lives of their children. Yes, your child will remain your child till he or she parts this earth, right? But then you should know when to set, when you're crossing the line. You should know at what point in life you shouldn't be encroaching in some part of your child's life. And so in this movie, the woman wanted to be in control all through, which is wrong for a parent. You should know when to let your child be. Secondly, as children, no matter how much we want to be obedient to our parents, no matter how much we want to be good children or nice children, we should also understand when to be able to tell our parents, Mom or Dad, at this point, I think you're doing a bit too much. Let me handle this. Or, can you please step back and let me do this? Or, please, I don't want this time, especially when we are married, right? Because in this movie, the daughter in question was married. She was married, yet she allowed her mom control her in her marriage. It's not something that we should be doing. And no matter how much you want to be obedient, you need to also let your parents know that you are now an adult and you can take care of yourself in your home, right? So we try to please our parents, but then do not please your parents to the detriment of your spouse. Your partner, your husband, or your wife shouldn't be the one suffering just because you want to please your parents. You've pleased them when you were single. Now you should be pleasing your husband or your wife, not your parents anymore. You can't be displeasing your partner, your husband, your wife, just to please your parents. I don't know if it makes sense. That's a lesson that I learned from that movie, because in the movie you see where her mom called her husband names, and all she did was apologize to the husband, like, sorry. There was never a scene where she actually now told her mom behind her husband. Let's say, yeah, it might seem disrespectful talking back at your mom in front of your husband or in front of your wife, but then you should be able to call them aside and say, Mom, I didn't like the way you spoke to my husband, or I didn't like the way you spoke to my wife. Can you please not do that again? Because it's not going to be good for my marriage. But no, she didn't do it. All she did was, yes, Mom, and then, sorry, babe. And that was it, until things were breaking apart. We don't have to wait that long. We don't have to wait for our relationship to crumble before we realize that we should actually help our parents put a stop to some of the things they do in our marriages. If you let them, because the truth is, they keep seeing you as a child, no matter how old. Me as I am, my siblings, they are grown-ups, but I still see them as my little siblings. Talk more of my parents. I'm sure my parents still see me as a child. If you let them, they'll keep seeing you as a child, and they won't let you do things that you are supposed to do. So sometimes they need a little bit of a reminder. A little bit of a reminder that you are now grown, and they should let you do some things. So it wasn't cool for me watching your mom insult your husband, call him names, and then you didn't do anything about it. You didn't even say, Mom, please, can you not do this again? You know? Right, okay. I don't know how I don't know how I will handle it, but this is lesson number 2. Then number 3, we should try to let go of our parents. Actually let go of our parents. Yes, they are our parents, but we should try and focus more. I think I touched a bit of it in the last one I talked about. Try and focus more on your marriage, your new home, your husband, your wife, rather than focusing more on your mom or your dad. Right? So yeah, try and focus more. Really let go. Like, in that movie, the wife, the girl who has a controlling mom, they are the rich ones. Her husband is from a lower class. Let's use that word. Lower class, from a poorer background. He didn't have as much money as they had. He didn't even have money, and he didn't even have a good job at the time. So the husband was from a poor. Sorry about the break in transmission. I had to attend to something else. So the husband had no job at the time. So this was the basis. So the mom was saying this whole thing as him being a gold digger, and that's why she was acting the way she was acting. So apparently the house this couple were living in was owned by the wife, and then her mom had a spare key to their home without her husband's consent. Why? Because the mom took it and felt it was her right, and then she was okay with it. She didn't even tell the husband. I don't know. Does it sound right? So that's it. We need to try and focus more on our homes, and let our parents know that we are married. We can handle some things. you know. Then the fourth lesson is, as human beings, we should try. It's difficult, but we should try our best to live the past, our past experiences in the past. Try not to let your past experience becloud your sense of judgment. Don't let your past experience be a hindrance to a future that will yield you fruits. Don't let your past experience be a stumbling block in your life. Because this movie, the mom in this movie was treating her supposed son-in-law the way she did because of her experience, because her own husband was also from a poor family, but apparently the man just came to make money off her and dumped her in the process. So she was trying to protect her daughter, but then I felt like she did a bit too much, you know. She did a bit too much. Because even after seeing it clearly that this young man was different from her husband, she kept frustrating him until he spoke back, because he actually told her to her face that he was fed up with the whole treatment. So I'd like you guys to watch the movie. I'll put the link to the movie title, and try and get the link to the movie as well. I'll put on my description, so you can have a look. It was very interesting. Then I want to ask a question. There was something that happened in this movie that I still ask myself, what would have been the best way to handle it? So I'm bringing it here to ask you to make a contribution. Yes, from the movie, but then some of these things happen in reality. So if you were in that situation, I'd like to hear in the comment section what you would have done or what you think is the best approach. So the question is, what would you do if your mom called your husband or wife your errand boy or your house help? No, not called. Rather, introduced your husband or your wife to her business associates as your errand boy or your house help. What would you do at that point? How would you handle that situation at that point? What would you do? I'll be in the comment section to see what you would do if you were in that position. Right, thank you. I'm going to end this video. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye.